Hey, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Griffin and this is Griffin Projects, and I want to welcome you to the very first video of the series where I replace the liquor cabinets that are behind me. What they are is two Crate and Barrel leaning racks, and let me tell you, they have done an absolutely tremendous job. Like, I can't say anything bad about them. I love them. That's why I've had them for so long. But the time has come. That's right. It's time to build something for myself here for my home liquor cabinet. If you watch Vlogmas, you probably have a pretty good idea that I like to imbibe on a semi-regular basis, and I love mixed drinks. That's kind of why the liquor cabinets behind me just are not quite doing it for me anymore. My collection of booze, glassware, wine has just expanded, and now I need more space. What we're gonna do tonight is look on the interweb and see what's kind of out there. Not necessarily for aesthetics, even though obviously I'll be looking at that as well, but more for like features. What I kind of want to include on the liquor cabinet that I designed, which we'll be doing here in the next like day or so. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel because I would love to hear your input on what I end up designing, and would love for you to be a part of it because it's going to be a multi-video series for sure, because it's just too big to do in like one video. Otherwise I'll like, yeah, at any rate, make sure you're subscribed. So without further ado, let's hop into the computer and see what's going on. Of course, first I'm going to Pinterest. Now I kind of did like a quick once over of this, and let me just tell you, like, I didn't see anything that, like, all these look great. Like, I love, you know, the details on the design and all this different stuff, but there's just not much here, like, as far as features go, where I was just like, yeah, that's exactly what I want. So unfortunately, that's just kind of how it went. I kind of went a different way with it, is I pulled up some of the different features or ones that have features that I've thought about, and we can kind of go through that. But first, what I want to show you is my list of what it needs to have. We need to be able to hold 72 plus bottles of wine. Very, very important. Currently, right now, we're sitting at almost 60, and yeah, I need more space. And you think, well, maybe one more case isn't enough, but I'm not looking to like go above like 100 bottles of stored wine and stuff like that. It's not like that. It's more of like I'm cellaring some special bottles, and then I just want a really good selection depending on who's here to be able to have drinks. Now that, of course, is saying hopefully we'll be able to have guests in the apartment sometime this year, hopefully. Anyway, let's get back to the list. The next is glassware storage. And that's something where this bar is really falling short. As you can see, I need wine glass storage, rocks glass storage, Collins glasses, champagne coupes, Belgian beer glasses, and IPA glasses. Basically what's happened is this is completely full behind me, and then there's a whole another cabinet in the kitchen that's just dedicated to like glassware for the bar. So want to make sure to somehow combine those two so that way I can take out of there and put them in the liquor cabinet. The next thing, of course, is booze storage. Right now I'm sitting at a pretty good level of booze, but what's happened is I'm trying all sorts of different gins, different types of bourbons, like all that type of stuff, and I just need a little bit more space so that way, like, as things rotate out, it just doesn't look like a big cluster F back there, which is what it does look like from time to time. And then the last thing that I want to include is some accessory drawers. We have like wine openers or corks for the wine and stuff like that. General bar accessories, you know? Looking here back to the computer is, yeah, I'm just not seeing a ton of stuff. Like, I love the ideas and things like that, like lighting inside, like those old school lights, you see them in here and here. Like, that's just not the aesthetic that I'm going for anyways. I mean, like, you look at it, you're like, oh, that's really nice, and I don't know. I feel like it's kind of trendy right now, and I don't want to put anything like that's hyper trendy into it because trends die. Okay, next up, you see here, I usually like to do my wine storage like this. in a, like on the 45. So there's like a diamond or basically a square tilted to 45. One thing I'll say is making them like this is very, very annoying as a woodworker, because it's challenging because there's just so many partitions and all that stuff. So it might not be something that I do with this piece, just for the sake that there is just so much storage that's needed in the wine department. Like, it's not just doing like a few of these. Like, this is not that bad. But now try to do it for like 70 to 100 bottles. Like, it becomes like a much bigger challenge at that point. The next up is this piece, and I really like this piece. Like, I don't know why, I shouldn't say I don't know. I understand why people have liquor cabinets that close off and, you know, it's just a big cabinet, right? I mean, this one even looks really nice when it's closed. Let's see. Like, see, that's really, really pretty. It's almost like a piece of art. Like, I totally understand that. But for me, I want a display piece. I want to display my booze. I want people to know when they come to my place that, hey, imbibe. Have, you know, sit down, relax. Basically, my place is your place. Like, have at it. And I just think when things are kind of locked away or whatever, it just doesn't seem that way. I don't know. I really like this though. And what mostly like what I'm looking at is really how they're storing the wine down here. And I think this is great, especially when you're buying cases that have like wine storage this way. When you're doing it kind of like I'm doing it, where I just have a lot of like 2 or 3 of the same bottles, but there's a lot of different types of wine. I don't know if this really works for that. I also like these, what I would guess are drawers. It doesn't necessarily say. I do like that. The rails for the glasses. There's a lot in this piece I like. It has glass on like the lower level here and then glass on the back. I kind of like that. This might be something that I include. Okay, next up is this guy. And this, what I really liked about this piece is just the tiered booze. Like, I think that looks great because you're taking up, you can see everything that you have, unlike here where everything's on the same level. You know, it's okay. It's okay. It works. It works. But I was thinking maybe tiered. And I do like the glassware above the booze. Like, I hadn't thought of that, but now that I'm seeing it, I kind of like that. So that might be a feature that we work into it. Next up is just a piece that I really like. I think it's from Room and Board. Oh, well, it's not, but it's from West Avenue something. I just love these slats. Like, I just think they're so modern, like looking. I love them. But unfortunately, I'm not going to include them in this build, but it's definitely something that I would love to incorporate into a build, because this is just like a timeless look, I think. It definitely has stood the test of time, that is. Okay, next up, this piece. I don't know what to say about it other than it's really unique, and I mean, I guess it could be a great accent piece. But what I really liked about it is not only the light, but the door that folds down. That's something that I've been really thinking about. I don't know about doing it in this piece, but I've always loved bars where it comes down and it's like almost a makeshift table. So I like that a lot. Next up, just some more designs. Like, I didn't really see, there's some like play with textures and then stuff like that. That almost looks like a timbre door. It's not. It's just a rounded door that opens, but I like that too, you know. But I'm not going to do any big doors that cover anything. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a lot with glass with this piece just because I do want it to be more of a display piece. Anyway, which brings us to this picture, which is big glass doors, really, really tall. I'm not a big fan of the design of this. I think it's just more of the fact that it's enclosed in glass, and then it is like glass doors, and then it has a mirror in the back. Like, I do like that a lot. Ooh, I really, really like this. I've seen these in restaurants, and to the tune, like, there are hundreds and hundreds of bottles of them on these vino rails. But here's the problem. they're very, very expensive. Even wholesale, they're very expensive. I mean, they're metal, right? Metal rods. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to do yet. They're about a 1/2 inch diameter rods. So I was wondering if could do this out of like hardwood, like just make a crap ton of dowels, cut them to size, and then use that maybe. I don't know. There's something there, I think, but we'll explore that more later. I mean, just look how this looks. Hold on. See that? Doesn't that just look so nice? Like, I don't think they need to be spaced out this much, but it just, there's something about it. I just really think that looks sexy. You know, it's just so minimal. Like, yeah, I really like that a lot. It might be something to incorporate into this piece. Here's another like version or take on it, which is them going in a diagonal. Of course, again, very, very expensive. Next up is just a really cool mid-century piece that I really liked. It has different levels. Like, the piece that I'm making is going to be pretty tight to the wall, so there'll be none of like these multi-tiered whatever things, but I did like this in general. And down below, it looks like timbre doors, but there's only one picture, so I'm not sure. But I've definitely thought of timbre doors for a bar before, something that I wouldn't mind doing in the future. Next up, another mid-century piece. I think what I really like about mid-century, like modern type pieces in general, is it just seemed like everything kind of had a home, you know, like, okay, here's where the bottles go, here's where the wine bottles go, here's where the booze, here's the glass, da, 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 da. Like, I just love that about it. It just seems like something that you always see with mid-century pieces. I know it goes probably beyond that, but you definitely see that. Again, here's another one where just like, here's the home for this, here's a home for that, you know, I like that. Next up is this piece right here. Let me see if I can zoom in. There we go. And it has an internal like wine storage refrigerator or a wine refrigerator. I really like this idea. The problem with it is these are not only very expensive, they are very deep, especially if they're actually refrigerated ones, as opposed to like kind of swamp cooled almost. The actual refrigerators are really, really deep. Like, I believe at least 18 inches, maybe even more. And since this piece is going to be like pretty tight to the wall, it's just not an option. But I do like the idea of maybe incorporating them. And then of course the drawers I think look really great. And the last thing that I want to talk about as far as features go is this. A humidor. How awesome is that? Now that is a luxury. This article I think is like 20 luxury liquor cabinets. And I would say if your liquor cabinet has a humidor in it, yes, that is quite luxurious. And I really, really like this. I don't smoke a lot of cigars anymore, but there was definitely a time where this would really have mattered. And I was just thinking, like, is it something that we could incorporate into the new piece? I don't know. It's probably something that we don't need to do, but man, I really, really liked it. Well, that's pretty much it. Now, with all this being said, I would love to hear your input on what you think feature-wise we should include in this liquor cabinet. You can do that by either DMing me on Instagram or leaving a comment down below. If you like this video, make sure that you hit like down below. That really helps out just to let me know that you like it and let YouTube know that you liked it as well, because it helps with the algorithm and stuff like that. If you know someone that would love to join and give me their input on this build, make sure that you share this video with them as well. That would be really, really helpful, and I would be so appreciative of that. The next video in this series, we're going to actually hop into SketchUp and start doing some, you know, hocus pocus SketchUp design work or whatever. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to your suggestions. And yeah, this series is going to be freaking awesome. I'm totally stoked for it. But that's it for tonight, and I will see you tomorrow.